Uh, what's up, people? Uh, we were supposed to be doing this Wednesday night, but uh, my truck ended up breaking down Wednesday, and I didn't get back in time. And then yesterday, it broke down again for good. Wasn't going to do it Thursday, but I got broke down in Oklahoma City, and it's still in Oklahoma City right now, so it's getting worked on, can be worked on. We have a guy that wanted to come on. I don't know why. I don't know why he wanted to come on, but he's when I got a good buddy named Pat McCrotch. He does street interviews for I think it's WMX, Street of Mundo. This guy wanted to be interviewed, and he didn't shy. He wasn't shy, man. And pretty funny guy, big guy. He's a big guy. I mean, big guy. Mr. Miyagi is his truck. I think I got a picture of it here. Let me show you there. Quick little truck. It's a nitrous truck that was at KC 28's Part 2. And wait, here's Pat McCrotch is interviewing him live on the scene. That went down like that. And oh, look at there. It got a nice Induction Solutions sticker and a Cash Day sticker. Wow. I heard you gotta be special to have them things. But so without further ado, man, here we go. Ah, good Lord.
Is that good enough? Can you see me? I don't know how to work this thing.
I can't see you. All I can see is your eyeball.
What's up, big guy?
What's up?
You know, you go into how I pretty much begged to be on, and here I am telling everybody that I was something special, and now it sounds like I ain't got no credit.
Well, you got credit. You don't look like Mr. Miyagi. You look like three Mr. Miyagis.
Yeah, three Mr. Miyagis probably wax me up pretty quick. I'm not very fast as I get a little bigger and older.
No, well, that's one thing about age, though. Is what they say is the older the berries, the sweeter the juice. So that's what it is.
Ask my wife about that.
Yeah, I'll take her word for it. So what's the weather like? What's the weather like up there?
You know, it's probably not that much different than there once again. It's about, it's 40 degrees, 30s in the lows right now. It's been pretty sunny lately. Got rid of a little bit of the rain. So now we're probably approaching that freezing season. So getting ready to put all the old stuff away that needs to be winterized and get ready to start shoveling driveways or something like that.
Oh, man, I love the cold weather, but I don't think that's one thing I would like is shoveling snow.
What I do is I put a little small plow on the front of Miyagi and put a little bit of snow tires on the back of it. We go out there and fire a little nitrous away at it. See that. So fast.
Yeah. Toby said, "Looks like a midget in the truck, though."
That is honest to God. Everybody says, "How do you fit in that thing?" And the funny thing is, I get in my buddies' cars. We got some, I got quite a few buddies that have race cars and stuff like that. I try to get into those, and the odd thing is the headspace in a truck is a lot more than a car that's even much bigger. So trying to bend me in the shape of a C to form into a vehicle that's got door bars is pretty fun. So getting into the truck headroom, I don't have to try to blow my back out to do it. Works out well, actually.
So you get it in and out pretty easily in the truck?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have no issues with it. It's one of those things where I've done it about 7,000 times. So you just kind of have your little way. Look at Hoffman, constantly, can't stop. I got a story behind that. If anybody wants to hear it,
let's hear it.
The cops. All right, so I was actually going to wear my shirt tonight, and I didn't want to floss on it too hard, but I was going to wear my shirt, and I'll explain how this happened. All right, so several years back when I got into the race car stuff, and I was trying to figure out, how does this street stuff work? How does this big street scene work? A car that came down there with me to Cash Days, or I should say I went with him actually. His name's Tyson Zimmer. He's got the Frito Bandito, the blue Mustang that ran prime there at the KC28s. And he was the first guy to actually invite me kind of into one of these private Facebook Messenger groups. I had no idea what the hell it was. My wife sets up my Facebook. I messaged you 10 times to try to figure out how I was going to get on this thing because I'm just
Was it hard? Was it hard?
No, it wasn't, but I don't even have like Chrome downloaded onto my phone. My wife looked at me like I was an idiot.
Well, you can use whatever browser you use anyway, but anyway.
So I go on this page. Everything's cool. I'm looking at all these guys. I'm quiet as a church in there because I feel like I'm just trying to these people. One day, something about a spot getting busted or cops coming there getting busted or something. This was some years ago. And somebody went in there and they said, well, all you guys have invited these new guys to these groups and you don't even know who they are and all this shit. So is it okay if I swear a little bit or
yeah, get after it.
Censored here? That's my wife right there. So I thought, well, I'll show you how I can handle this, right? I'll just post a picture of my little hot rod and it's got a license plate on it. I just said, here's the deal. Run the plate. You'll find out exactly who I am if you got any ability to do that crap. But I'm definitely not the guy, And immediately after I did that, the next comment says, there's your cop. The next guy says, definitely something a cop would say. The third guy comes on and says, points arrows up, says, definitely a cop. So I didn't want to argue with all these kids on there. So I just put the thumbs up. And I was like, whatever. So, needless to say, I show up to several races after that, a lot, and start making friends with everybody. And it took about 10 minutes before people realized. Well, first off, my wife bought me a shirt off like some eBay thing that says "not a cop" on the front of it. So I wore that to every race after that and everything we went to because it was kind of a big play. And eventually people realized, well, this guy is totally not a cop. So I don't know. It's kind of a funny deal. There's a little bit more to it on an actual street race where the cops actually pulled right up to my front bumper. You guys just Toby's buddies with and just mentioned a local Minnesota racer named Justin Higgins who drives a car named Bruised Ego, and he just recently moved to Arizona and he just won a big tire Arizona cash race, and he's a pretty good buddy of mine. And me and him were actually the two cars lined up on the street, both purging a bunch of nitrous in the burnout box with a bunch of juice on the road. My buddy Taylor standing there, who also came down to cash days with me. So these guys are pretty good help and stuff. They travel with you. He's flagging the thing, and this is no bullshit. The cops come flying down the road, and they were in Justin's lane. So I thought, well, hell, I'll just go start slowly pulling away as the cop drives up to Justin's car. And as soon as I tried to move, the cop just immediately pulled into my lane and put his bumper like right on my bumper. And when he came up to the door, he pulled my door open and he said, "Why do you think it's okay to do this?" And we hadn't moved yet. So I just responded and said, "Do what?" It was kind of a funny deal. So when we went back to the house, which was actually Chad Hoffman's house there, there's a whole bunch of cars there. The cops told us, you got 15 minutes to get all your stuff loaded up, get out of my county, or everybody here is getting tickets and impounded, blah, blah, blah. Minnesota's a little bit harsher than down south there, guys. So when I pulled back in, my buddy Taylor says, I was walking around the yard and I heard some guy saying, the one dude's a cop, right? And they must not obviously realize the case anymore. And Taylor finally we came driving back in. Justin's car doesn't even have a radiator in the damn thing. So, I mean, he was just scooting down the road. He's got a pusher car. He's scooting down the road trying to get back as fast as he can. And as I come pulling back in the driveway, with no ticket, obviously, the guy goes, "I told you he was a cop. That's why you got ticket." It's like, "Who's the cop? What are you talking about?" He goes, "The big tattooed guy in the little blue truck." And Taylor's my friend, and he just started laughing. He said, "Man, that's the hardest working guy I've ever met. That's a cop." He's like, "I'm a 49er for the union stuff." And obviously he knew that. So he's like, "I don't know how he's got the spare time to be a cop too, when he's always at work with heavy equipment stuff." But, so it's been a long time thing. We just run with it because it's fun, and I embrace that stuff pretty good. But yeah.
So I remember back before Facebook in the forum days, we had the people that was, "Oh, he's a cop. So it, pretty much you had to have somebody that knew you, that vetted you in
Sure.
to the hidden forum part. And we actually had a cop that was actually in the forum that actually street racing stuff, but he was actually a cop. But man, that was a long time ago. That was back before MySpace days.
Sure. I never had a MySpace. I never got into the techie stuff until my wife put me on Facebook, like however many years ago, and now she just gives me crap all the time for being on it too much.
Yeah, believe it or not, this stuff right here that I'm doing right now is pretty easy, and I could build you a website from scratch on my PC and everything. For some reason, I couldn't even figure out how to do a Limpy page. My wife did all that stuff. For some reason, I've just become dumber than a box of shit when it comes to this stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
So y'all went to, actually, we got, what's this? This might bring back some, I don't know, memories, but we'll let this happen right here. Just. Oh, Boston George wore your ass out, didn't he?
Son of a bitch, Eric. You got me. Good dude. I had a good time down there with you guys. I really did. It was one of those things where, anybody that gets into the world of any kind of street racing or any kind of behind the scenes stuff like that, we we watch you guys. We've been seeing you guys for a long time. And, if you guys know anything about Minnesota, oh, hold on there. You got me still?
Yeah.
In Minnesota, we got we got cold weather in non-compliant weather for hot rods around here for the more time of the year than not, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we also live in a pretty liberal state. What do I got to do? My phone keeps wanting to shut. I don't want to cancel anything, but I got to touch it or something. We also live in kind of a liberal shit state, where everybody's constantly, pretty much, if you're having fun, they figure that they probably ought to the cops to shut you down. So we have limited access to, real usable streets for durations of time to get anything really good off. So we fight pretty hard to come down there where these guys are capable of running as many weekends a year or as many passes a year as they do and have their stuff as lined out for a street and real limited prep like that compared to what we get. It's not an excuse. I'm traveling across this country to come and visit you guys, not because I think I'm coming down there to school anyone's ass. I'm coming down there because I got tons of respect for all those guys. I'm a huge fan of cars well before I was a competitor. So I like, you'll never catch me talking crap to anybody about what they drive, how fast they go. I've always been a believer in, everybody comes from a different financial background. Everybody has different resources. Everybody has different knowledge levels. And me and my wife came from a world snowmobile race, and my wife's actually a world champion snowmobile racer. And um, I remember hearing people at there was a really smart guy who built a lot of our motors, and he always said, I don't have to beat you in the pits. I can beat you on the track. And he always, he just gave a lot of credit to everybody, and everybody's got a different flavor of what's cool. Clearly, I'm this big, huge dude driving this little janky ass Toyota truck. If somebody asked me what the top 100 vehicles in the world that you could pick to make a drag truck or a drag vehicle, a Toyota pickup would have never made the list. It just landed in my lap. So, we're coming down there with a ton of respect for all your guys, and we're just happy that we can even get the invite to even show up, to even get a compliment. But we do have a handful of dudes that are coming out this next year here that have been helping me a lot with stuff, and we have a couple pretty rowdy cars. I wouldn't say that we're lacking a ton of power or anything from the guys down there. We're just, it takes a lot to figure out. It takes a lot of passes to figure out how to get them to work on them kind of surfaces. And a truck like mine, it's so goddamn loud. It's not like I live on a golf course. I can't just fire this thing up and just fly down the street with it. It runs on C16. It's not cheap to drive. And I got my nephew's car, this green split bumper Camaro right here that we've been kind of building on here and getting a turbo setup in there. He's actually the one who got me into drag cars in the first place. He's my little buddy, and he helped me build these drag cars. And I said, well, hell, you helped me build my bike. Maybe I'll get rid of my bike and I'll try to do a drag car and do something with you that you like. And this is kind of where it all ended up. So now, he's my buddy, and his car's in my garage, and this is where we'll work on it for the winter and see if we can't get it ready for next year to come and visit Kansas and Missouri and wherever else things are popping,
Yeah, that's just all you are missing this, seat time. I kind of figured when we showed up in Kansas City and there was like, I didn't realize that Kansas City was closer drive for y'all than us in Texas. I was like, I was like, wow, it's only like 5 hours for y'all.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's not like that. It's about 7, really.
Yeah.
And I think MapQuest claims it's like 6.5, but by the time you're stopping and fuel and stuff, it's a 7-ish hour drive. Yeah. So it's not terrible. It's definitely not terrible. I mean, it takes us, we only have a few tracks here in the state of Minnesota. We don't offer any no prep. We don't have a lot of a street scene right now. We do have some guys like Hoffman and all those guys, they've had some street stuff in the past. There's been street stuff in the past. It's just we've been in a dry stage here. And like I said, we got some guys that are coming out that, we're going to try to do something. I mean, we've been pushing the southern states on some of our local racers here that I know for sure can be fast on the street. I know that some of them are going to come with next year, and it really helps a lot to have a wife that's completely supportive and me to go do me. She wants to come with, but we got a 15-month-old son right now too, so it makes it a little harder to travel together. But yeah, we're just super happy to be a part of anything that's just totally kick ass. You're quiet. You're limp. You're muted.
Okay, I'm not muted no more. But that's one good thing about it, having a spouse that is with you and can enjoy stuff. Because I enjoy it when my wife comes and helps me do events and stuff. Street, and we're doing top end stuff as well. But it's just good to have them there and enjoy it with you. And your kids and everything. And I see a bunch of people having their kids line them up and stuff like that. Man, you enjoy that. If you got a 15-month-old, man, enjoy that, man, as long as you can, because they blink of an eye, they're gone, married, out of the house. I mean, as old as I am, my kid's done married, gone, and it's just the wife and I now. So that's why I prefer to be home ever. I used to travel Monday through Friday for work, and then home on the weekends, and when I was home, but now I'm home Monday through Friday, and then I travel on the weekends. So it's, it's vice versa. But when she can come with me and hang out, and it's a lot funner.
Sure, of course it is. 100%. It makes you feel, I'm a 40-year-old guy, and believe it or not, I actually have twin daughters too that are going to be 21 in December. So I feel what you're talking about. They're both in college and
Hmm.
doing real well. They were kind of a high school thing, and so me and my wife have done our own thing for the last 14 years, and she's been my biggest supporter. So um, I feel ya, and it's weird because the older I get, the more I'm homesick when I'm gone all the time. And so when I bought a big Class A motorhome this last year here because I figured, hell, if I'm going to bring my kid with and my wife, I'm going to make damn sure everybody's comfortable. So when we go down, I don't normally travel with it across the country 100%. When we go and do stuff with you guys, or in the future when I do stuff with you guys, I'm going to try to run as light as I can. For one, because if we need to pop around a little bit, we want to be mobile, and for two, it's just so much faster to just cruise down the road in a truck that's capable of pulling at 80 rather than a big 40-foot motorhome.
Yeah.
But I use it when I go to our upper Midwest races and stuff. I go to Humboldt, and I'll go to anything pretty much that Jordan and Brandy Sharp and Jason Seitz put on. They do the NEAT no prep throwdown, and those guys are just top notch, super kick ass people. They've kind of taken us in as a bit of their own, and they treat us like family when we go there. And I support anything that those guys do 100%. I've had some pretty good luck up there at his races, and Jason Seitz, who does the organization and wears hat that runs 660 stuff. Just a just a bunch of nice guys, super nice guys.
What about this? Was that the winter circle? Did you
Yeah,
see
that's
that?
one of the races. Yep, that's one of the races there at Humboldt. I actually won um, all their truck classes there this year with the pickup truck, along with one of the NA classes as well. Um, I just got a private text message from Van Burgess, Liberty Bell. He just sent me a text message saying, "We love you guys are down here in Mississippi," and I get to talk to him quite a bit. That dude's character. I see that he was saying something about swinging on the show or something. And let me tell you what, that dude's a straight character. Super
Yeah.
cool dude.
Yeah, I talked to him when we were in
So
Dyersburg, and he was he was talking. He was having fun and stuff, and he seems like he's a good character. He's a pretty funny guy.
yeah, we chit chat on the phone quite a bit, and I try to get tips for testosterone from him because he's a goddamn monster. I'm chubby, so just got to figure out what he's on. Because that dude literally looks like he could bench press the world if he had the footing. He's a monster. What a monster.
Oh
He's a
man.
super sweet. He's got a badass car. That car gets down, and,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
puts it like every weekend. I give him a ton of credit. I'm envious of all those guys that get to do that. I literally have talked to my wife about moving down south just so that I can come up with something where I can do what I want to do more. I want to raise my son around it. Just totally.
yeah. Well,
And
down here in Texas, we're South Midwest. Uh, man, we maybe once every 3 or 4 or 5 years we have a hard winter. Like we were supposed to have a hard winter last year, and it wasn't really bad. But we have 2 seasons here. It's hot and mild, and that's about it. I mean, I walk around in shorts year round. So does that tell you anything?
topless.
No, no, nobody wants to see that. Wow.
It's two of
Can you
us.
can you imagine? Never mind. I don't even want to imagine. I don't imagine. Whew,
I just did. I
God
just
dang.
did, and I'm still okay.
I got the cold sweats thinking about it. Ah,
Yep.
uh, but I did see
Yeah,
you.
that's the.
You were interviewed by my buddy here, Pat McCrotch, and
I was.
he told me that you came up to him and you wanted this. You wanted the interview. Is that true, or did he lie to me?
It, no, he wasn't lying. So I was always told that nobody will nobody's ever going to walk into the job office and ask for a raise for you, right? So a little bit of self promotion. I got to learn that stuff from my one of my upcoming opponents, hopefully someday, with Billy Hoskinson. He when I saw him down at Kansas, super nice kid.
Yeah.
And all I could say is, dude, you're so doing it right with the way that he self promotes and does all that stuff. I mean, that kid is busy on all this social media stuff, and he's kicking tons of ass with that stuff. I mean, I don't know many people that got a individual vehicle like that actually got a bigger following than him right now. I mean, he's doing it. He's doing it right.
When you got time to do that, and I don't know if he works or not, but they've got that down pretty good. I work 12 to 14 hours a day sometimes, and I just ain't got, and I drive, so I ain't got time to do social media stuff other than when I get off, and I can't do everything with my phone. I'm a PC or a laptop guy, so. Well, I was talking with Richard earlier about he was like, oh man, you could use this app on your phone. I was like, no, I got to use it on a computer. But yeah, them guys, Bill and how do you eat your steaks first?
Oh, dude, medium rare for sure. Medium at most.
You got to use
medium
sauce.
At most.
You got to use a sauce.
What?
Sauce? Yeah, Bill.
That's what blood is.
Yeah,
not blood with sauce.
Bill likes his steaks burnt with A1.
Well, maybe that's where some of his crabby attitude comes from on the Facebook posts.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to use some kind of sauce to make your food taste better, maybe you're doing it wrong.
It is kind of strange. I don't know. Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to put A1 sauce on. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I used to do Heinz 57. My brother did A1, but that was also when I was, growing up in the early 80s, and I don't think we had a lot of money, so I think steak night meant basically like the old round steak in the tip steaks or whatever they are.
The hamburger steak.
I couldn't understand. Yeah, basically when you had to saw it up, and I remember my mom used to put it in really small chunks because I couldn't chew it enough before I'd swallow it. I thought I was going to choke to death on it. So
yeah,
maybe that had something to do with it.
Man,
maybe when Bill was young, eating really tough steaks.
He's got it down patent because when he came down and visited us, he had that stuff. He was all like, "I want my steak well done," and we went to like Perry's. Like Perry's is like a high dollar fancy steak place, and he wanted it burnt. He wanted it like rubber. I guess they like eating rubber up there for some reason. But I told him, I said, man, why don't you just get beef jerky? I mean, it's basically the same thing. Get you a little beef jerky deal and dip it.
I don't know about eating it, but between the S10 and that Nova that they cruise around with, they definitely burn plenty of it.
Yeah. What did somebody said a while ago? Here's a topic. Should road racing be considered street racing? I say no. Road racing is hoping you got a good tuner and he told you the part you buy.
Can I take this one?
Go ahead.
Can I go ahead? I'm going to just throw this out there. You can explain to everybody. Now, I didn't write this as the definition of a race, but I'm pretty sure if you Google it or look it up, it's going to say something to do with coming from a start. Now, I don't know many races in the world. Even a horse race starts at the gate. Everything, even a relay race, starts at the gate. And if I told you I wanted to foot race you, would you consider starting at a jog? That's it. Would you start at a jog to do a foot race? Because if not, then that's ridiculous. It's not racing. That's completely different. Races, they start with you put the mark in the sand and you run to the end of where the people say stop. That's how every race has ever taken place. It's just the way it goes. I didn't make those rules. That's the way race has been. That's what a race has been, described as for the beginning of the word race. I don't know what people are thinking.
Yeah, I used to. I did a meme a long time ago. I seen it somewhere. I mean, I haven't done it in a little while because people get their feelings hurt and stuff. But the snowflakes out there in the world. But I think if I remember right, how did I do it? It says roll racing is like masturbation. No matter how good you get at it, it's still not the real thing.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty good at it.
So,
the masturbation part. The masturbation part.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do. I got huge hands. What am I supposed to do with these monsters?
Man, I have had huge hands too, but I don't want to look at it because it's already little, and I don't want to make it even littler.
You want to make it feel safe, though.
Well, I already know it's safe because it's got these things got us back. Let's see here. Where'd your wife go? Said so from about the Instagram page. Yeah.
So
you got an Instagram.
So my buddy Zach Lawrence from Minnesota. He's one of my good buddies in the race world here. He's actually a hot rod that he's calling the Hoopty notchback turbocharged LS based Mustang, and it should be ready next year as well. He's actually the guy in the pictures down there in Kansas City holding the ass into the truck and running with it and stuff. He's a pretty awesome dude. Right there on the right hand side with the millennial glasses, I call him. Yeah. It says it's millennial. It's those glasses. He's got a gun hanging off the side of his hip his entire life. So, it's kind of one of those things. You pick your battles with him. It would be on the right hand side, so you won't see the pistol right there.
Yeah.
But he put something up on Facebook the other day that said, it's going to get cold, long winter. Let's follow each other on these Instagram things. And I'm like, God, I don't have any Instagram stuff. I don't have any Twitter stuff. I don't even know how to get that stuff going.
You don't know how to squat? You don't know how to squatter? You don't know how to squat?
Dude, I do a few things on a phone, okay? I talk on it a lot because I can't stop talking, as you can tell. I'm not a big texter. I like porn. I'm into that stuff. Sorry, honey. I look at anything that seems fast for sale, because that's an absolute hobby / addiction. And I probably Google. I listen to podcasts. I listen to podcasts all the time. So
I do too.
Joe Rogan Experience is normally my daytime listening instead of hearing songs on repeat 1.5 million times. But he put that thing up, and so my wife started an Instagram page for me. I got like 5 pictures on it. I got like 6 people that actually care about me. I think it's called Mr. Miyagi _ Minnesota Truck. So is that right? Mr. Miyagi _ Minnesota Truck at Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, she's putting it up right there. If anybody wants to follow, I'll be happy to follow back.
Nobody follows mine. Don't follow mine because mine ain't race related.
What is yours related to? I got to hear this. What is your Instagram related to if it's not really? What does Limpy Collins do in the middle of a day when he's not doing anything with hot rods or Richard?
Mine is pretty much a shock for the shock value. It's basically dirty memes and videos and stuff like that. But it's pretty bad. There's some stuff I put on there to see how long it takes them to take it down. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think I'm on pretty my last thread of I've already had stuff I posted up, and within 3 minutes stuff was like, can't post that. It's bad. I'm like, but it's all right for a girl to bend over and show her wrinkled butthole, but you can't show like, yeah. Well, I'm in too, but but they can post it, but I can't. So it's bad.
So what do you do? Have you hot rods? Nothing? You don't do any hot rod stuff?
Yeah, I got a Mustang. It's a street car. Cruiser, no trailer stuff, because no trailer stuff is kicking off around here because it's wintertime, and no trailer stuff is we like to party. We get up early early in the, we do stuff during the day on Sunday mornings and stuff. So, oh, sorry, we party.
Sorry,
I got party right here.
that's
Look,
what
that's
that's one
perfect.
of the organizations from site. Hey, I'll tell you what. Next year, I know this sounds like a pipe dream, but this is going to be a promise. I got a guy up here in Minnesota. His name's Jeff Francis, and he's got a little white RX-7, and it is a pretty gnarly no trailer street car. And I'm telling you, I've been pulling the strings on this dude for a while, and he's been pretty hot in Minnesota with a pretty fast car. Everybody knows it. And this dude literally drives this car almost for a daily driver. I mean, thousands of miles a summer. And the thing, we're no time racers, but let me tell you what, it's not a slouch. It's going to get down. And I swear that if I bring that thing down there, I really, it'll be a respectable car. It'll be a really respectable car. And I mean, I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, man, let's bring that thing down there. We'll take my truck. I'll drag it. I'll be your guy, whatever. But I'm really hoping that we get that thing down there for one of the no trailer races. I think he's going to have just a blast getting down there.
Man,
And I think that he'd have a
it's
car.
fun. It's fun. It's sometimes we'll get up early Sunday morning. There's 10 times we race all night Saturday night here in the Metroplex, and then Richard's having one Sunday morning. We won't even sleep. We'll get done at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll drive straight north for 3 hours, and then get on his deal. And we're pretty much a team. I think we're going to try to do pretty much kind of do like a no trailer series deal, and we've been working on stuff, but kind of like him here and like some other place where we do the Sunday morning, where we can travel and then come back Sunday evening where you're not just wore out, just where you're not even you're just tired as shit. So, but it's fun, man. It's fun. Oh, what's that? Brian Coleman. As long as it's not all-wheel drive, he can. Oh, don't want to hear that.
Dude, it's a rear-wheel drive sports car, and let me tell you what, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty damn impressive. He'd be mad at me if I was saying that it was going to do something fancy. He's not that kind of guy. But I'll tell you what, it is a damn impressive car. It's gnarly. It's a pretty bad little piece, and that damn thing literally. I mean, he's in the drive-thru with that thing, ordering lunch every day, damn near in the summer. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we got a guy that from down south. I think he has two RX-7s. One's got a LS in it, and another one's got like a small block Chevrolet in it. And they're both extremely fast, and he likes to have fun with them, but he likes staying down in his neck of the woods. So
sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do that. A lot of people have a problem with travel, and when they I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I don't want people to be pissed off. But I'm kind of one of those guys where when I came home from Kansas City and people said, "How'd you do? How'd you do?" I said, "Well, I went out first round." And they said, "Well, doesn't it suck to go out first round?" Like they almost like look at you like you must be some kind of loser if you go out first round. It's like, well, it's like some cars like some people. Joey went out first round. Z-Unit went out. I mean, there's bad dudes all across this country. It's kind of like arm wrestling, if you just tell everybody how good you are at it, you'll find some people come out and just whip your ass real hard.
Exactly. Yeah, there ain't. I mean, there was no ducks. There was no ducks there for that race.
There is some. We're living, like people say that, back in the days, 70s, 60s, whatever, hot rod era. There's Justin Higgins right there, Big Tire Cash Days guy from Arizona, saying straight up, Jeff's car gets down. They always said it was the hot rod era back then, and obviously we're all smart enough to know without being biased and having arguments with people from that era that don't want to believe it, but we absolutely live in the hot rod era right now. I mean, this is just ridiculous. We got cars that are running, that are 4-second cars that are running down streets and are so damn fast that parachutes are one of their only saving graces at the end of a damn road. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just, I mean, honestly, going down and doing some of that stuff with you guys, doing a video like this with you right now, these are things that someday, like, I'm going to be an old cat and my kids, you know, I'm a kind of old for being a new dad, you know, but I'm cool, you know, it was a planned deal or whatever. But like, my kid's going to get older, and I want him to be able to see that his dad was a part of some of the wildest cars in modern time. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, what do we do, Lim? How do we get faster? How much faster can you go? You got radio cars going like 50s right now, like 350s with doors on them
I
still to
know,
get
that's
it.
freaking
I mean,
crazy.
that's ridiculous.
And the sad thing is, they're running they're running, you know, fours, and they're pump gas cars. That's what's freaking crazy. They're pump gas cars. I mean,
How
you
about
know,
that easy dude that just got that Facebook video that's going around right now that shows him going 450 on a
450
I
with
think
the,
it's a stock
yeah,
bottom.
stop
Stock
bottom
bottom
and
like LS.
yep. I mean,
I mean, I shared that video, and one of our local guys here, when they shared it, they put something on there about take a look at the speedometer, the second dial over on his digitals down there. And I mean, it's just awesome. It's just totally awesome. Craig Gensler is he can't get over it. He's my buddy. He's my buddy from Minnesota, but he has got nothing short of an absolute dinner plate for a car. The thing wins trophies at World of Wheels car show. It's got well over a six-figure price tag involved into it. He's got more money into his paint job than I got into my car, and I might have put the Gap on him on the street and then used it as my profile picture for a while.
Gap. He said Gap. Come on, Macy.
He said Gap.
How big of a gap?
Yeah.
Big gap.
It wasn't much, but it doesn't matter. A Gap pays.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what does
He's got two more turbos on that car than I do.
wow.
Two more than me.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, here lately, you know, it's been turbo this, turbo that, but man, it's been nitrous cars. It's been nitrous vehicles been tearing up the streets here lately. Uh, colder weather's coming around now, so that's liable to change. Got better air, colder weather, but man, it's gonna be a blast, especially this winter. I know not for y'all, but for us down here, that's it's already no trailer season, but it's, you know, it's cold and it's like 40 degrees and raining here right now. So, but it's fun. So, what does Mr. Miyagi do besides racing?
Well, he teaches Daniel's son how to kick that Johnny guy's ass, I think, from Cobra Kai, doesn't he? That's one of the things he was pretty good at. Oh, me, Mr. Miyagi. Well, my name's actually Matt, so I thought we were still talking about what do I do? What do I do besides racing? I do a ton of stuff. What do I do?
Yeah, besides, you know,
besides
car stuff.
Well, quite a bit of stuff, actually. I spend a lot of my winters out in the mountains snowmobiling. Done that quite a few times. This year I'm actually going to take a season off, or maybe even more. I'm getting a little bit older, and honestly, like we were talking earlier, I kind of hate being away from my family for so long, because I go out for weeks on end, and we stay out in the Rocky Mountains, and we turbocharge snowmobiles and high marks as much as we can. Get kind of wild out there, get a little dangerous, but otherwise, I got a boat, go fishing, spend some time with family. You know, obviously we work on cars in the off season and when we're not racing them, and do a lot of stuff like that. I don't know. My wife could probably chime in and tell you some other stuff because I'm drawing a little bit of a blank right now.
Oh boy.
I don't really drink much. I don't smoke. I don't party a whole bunch. Kind of got rid of all that shit in my 20s when I was probably partying a lot more than I should have, and I spent a a short college career, probably incarcerated in my early 20s. So partying is not necessarily for me anymore.
Yeah.
What did she say? He spends his wife's money and is amazing a dad, gets out fishing. Outfished by me. That is Jesus. You know, I'll tell you what, she's not lying about any of that stuff. But I take proud to be a good dad. As far as being outfished by her, I would be disappointed if she had a shitty day fishing for me to have a good one. That's the dad side of me. I don't know. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell, pretty much. I used to do some pretty wild stuff back in the day, but now it's kind of, I did a lot of stuff with. I've raced a lot of things in my life and did a lot of competitive stuff, but as you get older and stuff starts to fall apart on your body a little bit, you can't be the tough guy anymore, and
That's what I tell
that
people,
stuff.
man. The when you get older, the healing process is tripled from when it used to be when you're in 20s, and then when you get to be my age, it's almost quadrupled. So,
Sure.
Body just don't heal like it used to. Scars are still cool and stuff, but they still hurt.
Definitely. It makes a big difference too when like the world kind of relies on you to help pay the bills and stuff. So the whole idea of going snowboarding like I once did and try to do flips over 60-foot booters doesn't work for shit anymore. Nowadays you go out and do that, be out of work for the rest of your damn life. Gina says she can't beat the clock. Can't beat the clock. That's a lethal weapon term. Can't beat the clock, Riggs. My best friends say it to each other all the time when we're both feeling old. So, Higgs is out.
Higgs is out. Yeah, it'll be published. Hopefully, they don't flag it for me saying fuck or something like that. Or
Thanks for just ruining all my. This is it. This is all I got, Limpy. I mean, what you're doing right now is this is all I got. Before this happened, I just would sit in the house in the dark alone. I feel like I got a whole new sound life.
You've been blowing me up all week. It's like, how's this going? And then when the truck took a dump on me on Wednesday, I was like, I could see in your reply that you were like just heartbroken. Like, oh, so what about tomorrow? I'm like, oh, we're good tomorrow, yeah. And then after I got loaded like 10 o'clock in the morning and was rolling back, and I made it literally 3 miles, and it just took a dump on me. And luckily I got to a gas station and underneath the canopy, and it took a dump on me. And luckily it was Oklahoma City because I got a bunch of friends in Oklahoma City, and I was trying to see. I sit there for like 3 or 4 hours before I realized that I wasn't gonna make it, and then I text you, all right, not gonna make it, and I could just hear the tears coming through the phone.
Oh,
what about tomorrow?
Wow.
But here we are.
Just hanging me.
But here we are.
Hanging me out. 49 minutes later. This was so miserable, wasn't it? Jesus Christ.
No, we got to meet Miyagi, and we got to see that badass Camaro right there.
Yeah, it is kind of a cool little guy here.
Well, show us
big players with it.
Show us Mr. Miyagi there. Show us what
do you want to see about it?
Show us how you get. Show us the inside the cabin. How your big ass fits in that. How your big ass fits in that thing.
If I get in this right now.
No, you ain't got to get in. It just shows how big it is. How little of a room it is.
You turn the camera around in this thing.
Shit, I don't know.
I will show you that I do all of this as much as I can with nothing digital in this truck. Everything is dial adjust by the twist of my fingers. There is zero data logging of any sort in this thing. This is 100%. This is 100% old school. Everything. Literally. Everything is old school in this thing. We go right down to an old 7AL box. It's not even digital. We running this. This is what our we can't even. That's my progressive system. Old school.
I like it.
We're in the dark ages over here, man. Nitrous carbureted plate, small tire, ladder bar, nothing fancy. You know, we chrome ollied the cage because when we want to make sure that things were safe, as safe as they could be. And I mean, shit, up until this year, I didn't even have an alternator. I literally just run 2 batteries in it, charge it. Tell them about the Hemi. Yeah, well, there are certain things that'll be left unsaid for a while. But stepped in. John's one of my best buddies here in the race world in Minnesota, and he was just featured in some of the Motion. I think it was Motion something. He's got a really gnarly '68 Camaro that he actually refound after many years of it being gone. It was his dad's car, and he grew up loving this car. It was it's kind of painted all disco, so it was kind of a one-off deal, and he found it many years later and ended up bringing it home and just swapped it out from a big block race gas motor to an LS single turbo. Went out to LS Fest with it. Just got a ton of love. They featured it in all kinds of stuff. He's got a really cool YouTube channel going on right now. Him and a couple of buddies, Brian Lofquist, who actually runs a stick shift class and sweeps it up pretty quick with his '68 Mustang. And it's called No Name Race Cars in Minnesota. And these guys, if people give that thing a like and a follow, I promise you that they'll get some of the most comical but yet knowledgeable and good time guys they've ever seen post a video. And they just charisma to go for days. Just the funniest dudes, and they're smart. They're smarter than hell, man. They figure out how to make stuff work and be competitive on less. And their cars flat out all ass. They do great jobs. They're just super nice people. So that's kind of cool too. We got some pretty good guys around this area. We just, we're just a little bit limited to time and places. So we'll get it figured out.
Weather.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a group of guys that are gonna want to come down next year if they can get the invite. If we can get invited down and stuff, and I think we'll have a pretty good group of guys to come down and win, lose or draw. We'll give it our all, and
you'll have fun doing it.
I can't speak to anybody, but I stay out of the drama, and I grew up a team sport player, so if I can't win, I like to be part of helping somebody else win. I'm a share and share alike kind of guy, so it's kind of how I do it.
And they want to know if is it Chevy or Ford powered?
It's Chevy powered, Chevrolet powered. Decent size.
I got you. So, do you got any sponsors you want to name other than the wife?
I'm wearing my shirt now for my buddy Troy in Minnesota here. He went to high school with me, and he's been one of my good friends for a lot of years. He's got a little company here in Isanti, Minnesota called Dorn Metal Fab, and he is the guy who has done the majority of the work on the truck as far as TIG welding and bending the cage all up and doing control arms for it and doing a lot of the stuff that I don't know how to do with metal. He's actually an engineer during the day, so he's stupid smart compared to me, and he's got some cool tools, and we live close together. So he's been to a lot of out-of-state stuff with me as well. I don't know, sponsors. What do we got?
Induction Solutions.
Yeah, Induction Solutions got a pretty kick-ass plate system out there that I run. It's a sledgehammer. It seems to be a pretty clean kit for a plate. It definitely hits well, and it can flow quite a bit. So it's nice to have something that's completely flow charted and something that I can actually base real world data off of a little bit, as far as what the jets and actually what everything's like there. So it makes my life a little easier. I've also went in the, started in the, throw whatever plate with whatever solenoids on the thing as you can get when I started this stuff. And, you start spraying a little bit more. You definitely want to keep a little bit more track of that stuff, So, I mean, yeah, my wife says it right there. John Kelly's been a hell of a dude for me. The guys that I've been talking about, Joe Clayson out of Minnesota, he's got a gnarly chassis car. It's a 750 car, but it's a first gen Camaro with a pretty gnarly LS turbo setup in it that I think he wants to come down and play. And John's a great guy. He's I call him every time I have any real world questions where I want answers that I can get without having a biased opinion or looking down or talking down to you for not knowing. He's just an even keeled good dude. And my nephew Mike Otten, who has this green car right here, who kind of got me into this stuff, to be honest with you, and we've just struggled to get him a car together and going. Just finances and stuff like that. He's quite a bit younger than me, and I think we're going to get this one finished up, though. We're getting really close, and we got the turbo, and we got everything's pretty close. Actually, John Kelly will probably come up here and do a little bit of the wiring on it. And we will team up and see what we can come up with, man. I hope nobody gets upset that I don't mention them, but I don't know. I'm kind of seated in my pants. Do we associate with the mutt? Absolutely, I associate with Mike. Mike and several of his guys. Super, super good people. Jim and Todd that travel around with him a little bit. We've been to a race before with them, and I mean, his guys have actually switched off from his truck to mine to help out with stuff. They've laid underneath my truck and switched bar adjustments. They've done a lot of stuff, and Mike is a super sweet dude. We live pretty far away from each other for being in Minnesota. We are about a 4.5-hour drive from each other, but there's no doubt I will shack up next to that dude any day of the week and claim him as one of our own. So he is a sharp guy. He's a very smart guy, and he's a nice guy. He's a good dude. That truck gets down too. I mean, that thing is, it's unique. He's got it working, and that dude puts heart and soul into that thing. There's no doubt. So
she said, yeah, that's my ringtone, my message ringtone. That was my wife letting me know that she's on her way home. She's not the goat, but there's an inside joke to that why I have a goat ring it for a message tone. All right, I'll go ahead and spill it. Many years ago, I had a ringtone for text messages, and my wife's gay boyfriend, yes, I said that right. My wife's gay boyfriend said, when my message went off, he goes, that sounded a little gay. So when a gay guy tells you your ringtone's gay, you change it. And there's nothing gay about a goat. So we'll leave it at that.
I got, can I follow that up with one stupid ringtone story?
Go ahead.
I went to, Toby's going to like this one. If Toby's still watching, he'll be like, that's pretty dope. I went to a mechanics place that I got referred to. They said, I'll go to this guy. He's really good, blah, blah, blah. I was pretty, this is 10 years ago, so I was probably a little bit less respectable looking than I actually am now. And I pull up into this place, and he's in his shop, and he's got a ringtone on his phone. And out of nowhere, I hear his phone start ringing, and I used to play in a bunch of like heavy metal bands and stuff like that. And it's if you know who Slayer is, it's a Slayer ringtone, and it's saying the words, I'll instigate, I'll free your mind, I'll show you what I've known all this time. God hates us all. And it's like, God hates us all. He's just screaming loud on his phone. And I look at him, and I'm trying to figure out how to get to know this guy. He's working on my car, and I go, Awesome, man. Cool ringtone. He goes, what's that? I go, yeah, man, God hates us all. Sweet song. And he looks at me and goes, yeah, I have no idea what it is. I just look for the loudest ringtone I can get because I'm in this shop and it's always loud. And then he gives me his rental car. And I walk out and it's his kid's car that he's given me. And in the back window is a Bible when I walk up. And then he gives me the keys and it says, what would Jesus do on the ski ring? And I'm like, I got in there telling this guy this. And yeah, it was just like, what the fuck? It would never happen to anybody but me. I walked right into the dumbest shit ever.
Well,
Kind of a funny deal.
Is it you? But I would have did the same thing, thinking the same thing.
It's not my fault. Figure out what the lyrics said. I thought he was picking a really kick-ass tune because the guy likes some old school metal.
Yeah.
Apparently, I missed that one or something. Maybe he missed it. Maybe it's his fault.
No. Oh yeah, I got a pet. She's down here snoring. I guess I could. Yeah. She likes being next to Daddy. She's our old lady of the house. Just what you're
Yeah.
She said, yeah, you must have a bulldog. No. She's just old and she likes snoring and she likes sleeping. Uh-oh. What do you say?
The burnout RPM. Well, John Kelly once told me that when I was in the burnout box, that no matter what happens during this run, you give the fans what they want. So we just said, we're just going to take the high side chip out of this thing. We're going to send this high rev and small block to the moon. And so everybody gives me shit, and they say, Jeff Francis gives me a lot of shit. He thinks that I'm going to destroy everything because he says, what do you mean you don't run a high side chip? And I go, I don't need no high side chip. He goes, how do you know how many RPMs you are in the burnout box? And I go, I don't. And he goes, how many do you think you're at? I go, I don't know, 8,000 or something. And, so I get a little bit of flack for that, but I just figure, hell, send it. This thing wants to scream, let her eat. Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, when I used to be a stick car, I would go first to second, and then I would try to get the wheel speed up, and somebody goes, "Oh man, there goes a rod! There goes a rod! I'm waiting for a rod to come out." I just right perfect, but I don't think I had a 7500 chip in mine, so but it would bounce off several times.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm still super wrong. But I was told once that when you're on a high side chip, if you bang off the chip, your nitrous isn't going to retard. So your nitrous is still going to spray as your motor cuts timing and drop, as it bangs off the chip, you're still going to be spraying a load of nitrous at it. So pick your poison, right?
Yep.
That was kind of the way it was presented to me when I first started doing that. And I was like, well, whatever, we're either gonna possibly have some sort of a nitrous backfire if that happens, or we're gonna stretch a little valve train.
How many RPMs? All of them.
Yeah, it's a 14-to-1 compression small block, man. That thing loves to wick it up.
Oh.
That's one of the coolest things about having a solid roller motor like that is, all these turbo guys and stuff, they're so fast. And don't kid yourself, I'm super envious of the fact that they don't got to buy nitrous and C16 fuel and check spark plugs and all that crap. And I'm a pretty lazy guy, so to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind exploring that option at some point here. But ever since I've been a little kid, man, my old man was kind of a biker dude, and he was a crippled guy. He's a paraplegic, and his buddies would come over, and his nickname was Hot Rod Mitch, and his buddies would come over, and some of them would swing over on Harley, some of them would swing over on hot rods, man. And there was just nothing more I would sit in the picture window as a little boy, and I would just hear him come down the street. If it wasn't a big V-twin Harley shaking the goddamn house with apes pulling in, it was some dude that had some sort of, I'm sure back then it probably wasn't even half as what I thought it was then, but it was a cammed up rumbler, you know, something with probably some straight pipes. And ever since I've been a kid, I love what the turbos are doing. I love it. I think it's just killer. Like I said, I'm envious. I'm not talking shit, but there is just nothing more iconic sounding than when you pull up with a big solid roller high compression nitrous motor and you let that son of a bitch hang. Check plugs, same ones you put in 2 years ago? No, like 15 months ago, John. So, all right, I do maintenance. No, I told my little truck with nitrous. Catastrophic issues with nitrous. Knock on some sort of wood. Can't get to your head, Limpy. But it's been, you know, I don't really shoot the mother load at it, so it runs pretty good on its own. I you know, keep it in a window that I can control, and you know, we all know that it's not always the fastest car that makes it to the finish line that night. Sometimes it's just whatever gets A to B and it's tuned the best. So I believe that all of our vehicles, nitrous, turbo, blower, whatever, I believe every vehicle that steps foot on that property is capable of going faster and putting down more power than what they're using to get down the road that night. Hands down. There's not a guy out there, I don't believe, that's using everything they have.
No. If they are, then they're going to know it because they'll feel it.
Yep.
That's what I told everybody. You know, once that car just, if say you're running that track and all of a sudden you get 2/10 out of something that's 2/10 faster, I said that motor's about to let go because it's, you know, it just doesn't get faster with the same tune-up. And I mean, other than air and stuff, but you know, when it gets faster, that's when it's something's fixing to let go. So you better watch out.
You bet. You know, and a lot of people say, well, I don't like nitrous because nitrous can wreck everything so fast. And it's like, well, you're right, but I totally am a believer in the fact that, I mean, you're either good at tuning your shit or you're not. Now, everybody knows that stuff can go wrong and can happen, but you know, boost guys also can real simply just, you know, crank their shit up a little bit too and fire out all their head gaskets and do shit too, you know. I mean, it's all with how greedy you get with the tip of your fingers and what you decide to put in your vehicle. Everybody's running a big enough turbo that they can splatter their shit too, you know, and everybody's running a big enough nitrous kit that they can window their block. Yeah. I mean, they're all manageable, and when these cars are going as fast as they are, and when they're making as much power as they are nowadays, I mean, there's, you know, maybe some of them are a little less maintenance than other, but they'll all fail if you F it up. You know, all you gotta do is just twist it just a touch damn too far, and you'll screw it up. They're race cars, you know, they're not reliable most of the time.
Well, let's show these people one more time. You having a blast in Kansas City. Who's riding? Like the burn out there.
Good save.
And you left on him too. You just didn't get on top of the tires.
Yeah, as soon as I left it, I've been battling that a little bit all season, to be honest with you. Right now, I've been lucky enough to still be able to make it around the majority of the people that I've had to race, but it's been. I think I'm having some front suspension issues with it, and I've been going through a little bit of hell trying to figure out how to get that thing back to 60 foot the way that it always did. It's getting out 5-6 feet, and it's unloading the rear end. So we've been dealing with a little bit of chassis disruption stuff. It's nothing that I don't think we'll get back. It's just, yeah, I mean, that's the killer right there. I mean, you know, who knows what would have happened if it went down like that, but hats off to Eric and Boston George. The car kicks ass, man. And he's spending a lot of time running around this country right now, or, you know, down south or wherever they're going. And they're hauling ass. I mean, that car is cool. I was really happy actually to draw him. like you said earlier, there was no ducks at that place. I mean, that's a bunch of bona fide killers, and I was happy to test. Uh, I'm sorry, I was happy to draw a guy like him because that's a car that I've watched. So I mean, you know, that's cool to me. That's fun. You know, you gotta figure out where the hell you fit in, and you know, everybody thinks they're fast until they get next to someone fast, right? I mean, that's how
Yeah.
it goes.
And as Joey Beaterbaum says, if you can't beat them in the first round, you can't beat them in the final. So
Sure. Oh yeah, I watched Boston get faster and faster. That
yeah,
I followed the race around for the rest of the weekend there, and
yeah,
he definitely got much faster. So hats off to that guy, and hats off to all those guys that go down there and just lay it on the line, dude.
yeah,
You know, big big hats off to Joey Heichel too, and what he does in the racing community for, he sets one hell of a standard for how fast that car goes and how diligent he is at making it work as well as it does. I mean, he's a bad dude on that street. Kendall, all those guys.
yeah. Oh,
Sure.
So anything else? I know we've been just rambling for what, an hour or so, but it's been a good ramble. I like people like hearing your accent. Uh,
Do they want me to
we
say
got
a boat?
yeah,
Got a boat?
we got a guy from Germany watching.
Yeah.
Anybody want to ask Mr. Miyagi, aka Matt, any questions? The wife, did you take the trash out today? No, I'm kidding. Kidding. I'm trying to see. Man, it's been good. It's been good. You betcha.
That's
what do you,
Tyson, Frito Bandito guy.
yeah. So what's your plans? Are you gonna stick with this deal or somebody said something about Pro Charger? Are you looking at something different for next year or in the future?
That's yet to be determined right now. There's definitely there's always options out there. So
It's a learning
we'll
curve.
see what
So
happens.
you gotta you go to different power outers. You got to start learning different things. Might have to buy a laptop.
Sure.
Might have to
Oh,
do the do.
have my wife be tuning my vehicle.
There you go. I'm sure she's down for it.
She blow everything up. She says if it ain't fast, it ain't nothing. So she'll just send it to the moon and blow it up.
Yeah,
Fuel that you're on. I run C16. Run DP-C16 in my primary system, and I also run C16 in my standalone system for my nitrous enrichment fuel. Everything is C16.
You have two different
Miserable.
systems. You have two different fuel systems.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. I run a primary for that. Goes through the carb and feeds the motor, and then I run a separate system to. How much power is it putting out? It's over 1,000.
To the tire.
So, well, I've never put it on a chassis dyno, so no, I don't know what it would put out to the tire, but
Gas there.
the motor doesn't take that much. But I'm talking about a combination of stuff. It clears 1,000 by a bit.
Probably to the crank.
Yeah. I don't know what it puts to the tire. Either way, it's more than I can generally use on the street. So I'm gonna keep up on it down further down. If the road's good, but yeah, it's been a cool little truck, man. It doesn't owe me much, so it's gotten me. I got that truck. It had a 383 in it, and it ran like 730s or something like that. And
I got you.
Well, needless to say, shaved off a couple of tenths.
All right, a couple tenths. All right. Well, guess we'll end it there. Time for we'll be we got to go to we're going to Hartshorn in the morning. They're having a little street race deal going on tomorrow. Then after there, Heath and I will be headed to Temple or Holland. They got a top end of the race down there tomorrow, Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon, I guess. And then after that, the wife and I will be celebrating our anniversary coming up on Sunday. I think Sunday evening. She's going to come down there and we're going to have a little hang out and at the track and stuff, the top end track. So it's gonna be a good weekend. No 50-degree or 30-degree weather like y'all have up there, but we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be a good time. Good for you. Congratulations on your upcoming anniversary. How many years?
Got married. Oh boy. Been married 24 or 25. I don't know if it's 25, 24. But we've been together since 90 or 91. So
cool, man.
That's how old. I'm an old fucker, ain't I?
Yeah, you are. Hey, don't ask loaded questions, buddy.
Yeah, but
no, that's cool.
You gotta, if you find the right one, you stick with it. And man, I found the right one a long time ago. Actually, I found the right one, and she lived next door to me, growing up. So, high school sweethearts, and been enjoying it ever since, man. She lets me do whatever hell I want, and everybody asks what's the secret of a long lasting marriage like you got, and I always say have opposite schedules. We have opposite schedules. She works nights and I work days. By the time she gets home, I'm asleep, and by the time I get up, she's asleep. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it works. Works good. Uh-oh. Speaking of, she's home.
Oh shit.
Hold on. I'm asleep.
All right. Well, I can let you bug. One more time, I just want to say Mr. Miyagi _ Minnesota Truck. Give it a follow on Instagram. I'll follow you back or whatever. It's a brand new page, so we're just starting it, and I'm not real good with the stuff yet. Hey, that a girl. And No Name Race Cars, Minnesota here. Hit the like and subscribe button to that. Big black label with a bunch of white right. Something real super simple. And Dorn Metal Fab. And give a quick shout out to Travis Knowlton, KTRE here, Knowlton Thunder, Thunderheads and Racing Engines here in our state, right down the road here from me. They produce some of the gnarliest motors that are running all around the country and stuff like that. He's just got some wicked stuff going on. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that guy before, but super sweetheart of a dude as well. And every time I've ever called, he's never made me feel less than anybody else that's got the 481X sitting in the room kind of a thing. And he's always been really willing, whether or not you're spending $100 or you're spending 100,000 with him. Just always been a super cool guy and treat me like friends and family right away. So, yeah. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Can't wait. And maybe I'll get Pat McCrotch to do a little more in-depth interviews with you.
Pat McCrotch. The guy looked a lot like you. He had more hair though, a bigger beard.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was more hip. He seemed more hip than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's probably younger than me at the time.
Well, he definitely acted younger. He dressed younger.
Yeah.
He dressed quite a bit. He dressed early 90s.
He had hair, didn't he? I bet you. Yeah, he had a lot of hair.
Gold
a
chains.
lot of it. Yeah, he had a.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's an asshole too. I don't like him that much.
Yeah, didn't say it. I didn't like him either. Yeah. You don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
All right. All right. I better get off here. Olays.
Hour and 20 minutes.
Is that how long? Hour 20
minutes.
Macy woke up
All
because
right.
Mama's
You better,
home now.
you better finish this goddamn thing, and we're gonna just sit here in weird endings for the rest of the evening.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like I said, we'll be at Hartshorn tomorrow. Trick or treat. I think they got some big wheel racing too for the kids. I think it's raining up there right now, but it's supposed to, I think, dry out tomorrow afternoon. I think drivers' meetings are like 3 or 4, and it'll be a good time. And then Heath and I will be leaving, head home, and then we'll be at Little River Dragway in Holland, Texas at, I think, 3 tomorrow or Sunday afternoon. And that's about it. Thanks, Matt, for coming on, Mr. Miyagi, and we'll see you next time.
You bet, guys. I appreciate you having me on, Limp. I do. I'll follow and watch everything you guys are doing, and if I can't be there competing, I'll be a fan from up here. I promise.
All right, brother. Have a good night. Tell your wife have a good night as well.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Later.